Beneath the waves of myth and memory lies one of humanity's most enduring enigmas, Atlantis. Described by the philosopher Plato more than 2,000 years ago, Atlantis was said to be a powerful island civilization, rich in knowledge and technology, that vanished in a single day and night of catastrophe. His dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, paint a vivid picture of grand temples, vast harbors, and a society that once rivaled all others. For centuries, scholars and explorers have debated whether Plato's account was allegory or a record of something real. Some trace the story to echoes of ancient volcanic disasters, like the eruption of Thera that destroyed the Minoan civilization. Others have searched the Atlantic Ocean, the Mediterranean, and even the Caribbean for ruins that might fit Plato's descriptions. Satellite imagery, sonar scans, and underwater archaeology have uncovered strange patterns and submerged structures, but none have offered conclusive proof. The allure of Atlantis lies not only in its possible location, but in what it represents. The idea of a civilization so advanced it seemed almost timeless, undone by forces greater than itself. Was it a cautionary tale of human hubris, or the memory of a real city lost beneath the sea? The mystery endures, waiting in silence beneath the waves, or perhaps only in the pages of myth. Deep in the heart of South America lies the legend of El Dorado, the Gilded One. The story began with accounts from Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century, who heard whispers of a ritual in which a king would cover himself in gold dust and bathe in a sacred lake, offering treasures to the gods. What began as a tale of ceremony soon grew into the vision of a lost city, an entire kingdom overflowing with unimaginable wealth. Expeditions set out across the Andes, the Amazon, and the Orinoco Basin, chasing rumors of golden streets and temples adorned in jewels. Some explorers vanished in the unforgiving jungles, while others returned with fragments of stories that only fueled the obsession. Lakes like Guatavita in Colombia were even dredged in hopes of uncovering treasure, yet no fabled city was found. Historians today believe El Dorado may have been less a place and more a ritual, a reflection of the Muisca people's sacred traditions rather than a literal city. Still, the myth grew larger than life, drawing adventurers and treasure hunters for centuries, reshaping maps and inspiring countless quests. Whether a kingdom of gold truly existed or whether it was born from the fusion of ritual and imagination, El Dorado remains one of history's most enduring mysteries, glimmering just beyond the edge of certainty. Hidden within the dense, uncharted jungles of the Amazon lies the mystery of the lost city of Z. The tale is tied to British explorer Percy Fawcett, who in the early 20th century became convinced that remnants of an ancient, advanced civilization were buried deep in Brazil's Mato Grosso region. Based on fragments of maps, indigenous stories, and what he called Manuscript 512, Fawcett believed Z was a city of great complexity, stone temples, paved roads, and a society long forgotten by the outside world. In 1925, Fawcett set out on his final expedition with his son Jack and a companion. They vanished without a trace. No confirmed remains, no definitive evidence of their fate, only scattered reports from tribes and the occasional unverified artifact. Search parties combed the jungle for years, but none solved the mystery. Some claimed the expedition perished at the hands of hostile tribes, while others believed Fawcett chose to disappear and live among them. Modern archaeology has uncovered surprising evidence in the Amazon. Vast networks of geometric earthworks, signs of large, organized societies that once thrived in regions once thought inhospitable. Could these discoveries align with Fawcett's vision of Z? The question lingers in the humid silence of the rainforest. Was Z a city of myth, or a glimpse into civilizations that time nearly erased? Beneath the waters of the Mediterranean, off the coast of Egypt, rests the lost city of Thonis Heracleon. Once a thriving port at the mouth of the Nile, it was a gateway between Egypt and the wider world, where traders, pilgrims, and armies passed through for centuries. Ancient texts spoke of its grandeur, temples dedicated to gods like Ammonius and Heracles, bustling harbors filled with ships, and markets overflowing with goods from across the Mediterranean. Yet for over 1,000 years, the city seemed to vanish into legend. In the year 2000, a team of underwater archaeologists led by Frank Gaudio made a stunning discovery. Beneath layers of sand and sea, they uncovered colossal statues, temple ruins, and inscriptions bearing the city's name. Thonis, as it was known to Egyptians, and Heraclean, as it was known to the Greeks, were revealed to be one and the same. Evidence suggested the city had sunk into the sea, likely due to earthquakes, floods, and the unstable silt upon which it was built. What emerged from the seabed was a frozen moment of history. Giant stone gods lying in silence, ships preserved in mud, and offerings left by ancient hands. Yet questions remain. How exactly did such a vital city disappear so completely, leaving only whispers and old writings? Thonis Heraclean has risen again from the depths, but its full story is still waiting to be told by the sea. In the winter of 373 BCE, the city of Helike stood proudly on the shores of the Gulf of Corinth in ancient Greece. Known as the seat of the Achaean League, it was a prosperous center dedicated to the worship of Poseidon, the god of the sea and earthquakes. But in a single night, Helike vanished. Ancient accounts describe a violent earthquake followed by a massive wave that swallowed the city, dragging its buildings, temples, and people beneath the waters. By morning, nothing remained but a lagoon where the city once stood. Writers of the time, including Aristotle and Strabo, recorded the event, and for centuries Helike became a cautionary tale of divine wrath. Travelers claimed to see the tops of buildings shimmering beneath the waves, while fishermen said their nets snagged on the ruins of temples. Yet as the centuries passed, the exact location of Helike was lost, turning history into legend. In the late 20th century, archaeologists began uncovering traces of the city, buried not in the Gulf, but in the silt of the coastal plain. Pottery, coins, and building foundations pointed to a city destroyed by seismic catastrophe, its ruins gradually submerged and hidden by natural shifts in the landscape. Helike's rediscovery confirms the power of both myth and memory. But it also leaves a lingering question. Was its destruction a rare natural disaster, or part of a repeating cycle that still threatens the land today? Off the coast of southern Laconia in Greece lies Pavlopetri, a city older than legend itself. Submerged beneath just a few meters of water, it is considered the world's oldest known underwater city. Dating back more than 5,000 years, Pavlopetri was already thriving during the Bronze Age, a time when trade, craftsmanship, and seafaring shaped the ancient world. Discovered in 1967 and mapped in detail a few years later, the site revealed a remarkably preserved layout. Streets, courtyards, tombs, and at least 15 separate buildings lie arranged much like a modern town. Its harbor suggests that Pavlopetri was once a hub for maritime trade, connecting cultures across the Aegean and beyond. Unlike mythical cities lost to speculation, Pavlopetri is real, an authentic window into everyday life thousands of years ago. Yet the mystery endures. How did such a vibrant settlement end up beneath the sea? Scholars suggest earthquakes and shifts in the land slowly dragged the city below the waves. Over centuries, rising waters concealed it further, preserving its ruins under layers of sand. Even today, much of its story remains untold, waiting for archaeologists to piece together. Pavlopetri stands as both a marvel and a riddle, a drowned city that whispers of a world long gone, its stones still resting where life once flourished. Rising from the waters off the island of Pohnpei in Micronesia lies Nanmadol, often called the Venice of the Pacific. This ancient city, built atop a series of more than 90 artificial islets, is connected by canals that once allowed canoes to move through its silent waterways. Constructed from massive basalt stones, some weighing several tons, Nan Madol was the seat of the Sodalur dynasty, which ruled the island for centuries. What makes Nan Madol so mysterious is not only its scale, but its very construction. The basalt logs were quarried miles away and somehow transported and stacked into towering walls without the use of wheels, pulleys, or draft animals. Oral traditions tell of supernatural powers aiding in its creation, while modern researchers still puzzle over how such feats of engineering were possible in such isolation. At its height, Nan Madol served as both a political and religious center, with temples, residences, and tombs arranged in a carefully planned layout. Yet, for reasons still debated, the city was eventually abandoned. Some stories speak of curses, others of internal conflict, famine, or shifting environmental conditions. Today, the ruins sit in quiet decay, moss covering the giant stones as the sea laps at their edges. Nan Madol endures as a silent witness to a lost chapter of human ingenuity, a city built upon the water, still holding secrets about the people who raised it from the ocean. Hidden deep within the rose-red cliffs of southern Jordan lies Petra, the ancient Nabatean capital carved into stone. While the famous treasury and monastery capture the world's imagination, much of Petra still remains unexcavated, and among its greatest enigmas is the so-called Lost Quarter. This area, long buried beneath sand and rubble, hints at a sprawling urban district whose full extent has never been uncovered. Archaeologists using satellite imaging and ground surveys have detected outlines of monumental structures, streets, and possible temples that suggest Petra was far larger and more complex than the visible remains suggest. Some evidence points to markets, administrative buildings, or ceremonial spaces that would have been central to Nabatean society. Yet centuries of earthquakes, erosion, and shifting sands have left this sector hidden from view, locked beneath layers of desert silence. The Lost Quarter raises questions about how Petra functioned at its height. Was it a thriving metropolis with carefully planned districts? Did it hold secrets of the Nabateans' engineering, trade networks, and religious life? Or did it contain something deliberately concealed, spaces reserved for rituals or political power now lost to history? For now, the quarter remains only partly revealed, an unfinished excavation waiting for future discovery. Like the city itself, it is a reminder that Petra still holds mysteries in its heart, whispering from beneath the sandstone that there is more to uncover than what the eye can see. In the heart of North America, along the Mississippi River near present-day St. Louis, lies the mystery of Cahokia. Between the 9th and 14th centuries, this vast city flourished as the largest urban center north of Mexico, home to tens of thousands of people. At its height, it rivaled the great cities of Europe in size, boasting monumental earthworks, complex neighborhoods, and a thriving culture. The most striking of these is Monk's Mound, a massive earthen pyramid that still towers over the landscape today. Cahokia was more than just a city. Archaeological evidence points to a society with sophisticated agricultural systems, long-distance trade networks, and intricate religious practices. A wooden solar calendar, known as Woodhenge, suggests advanced knowledge of astronomy. Yet despite its size and influence, Cahokia left behind no written records, only artifacts and earthworks that hint at its complexity. Then, around the 14th century, the city was abandoned. The reasons remain uncertain. Some scholars suggest climate change and resource depletion strained its ability to sustain such a large population. Others point to internal conflict, disease, or social collapse. What is clear is that one of North America's greatest civilizations faded into silence, leaving only mounds and mysteries behind. Today, Cahokia's remnants are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but the story of its rise and sudden disappearance remains incomplete, a reminder that even the most powerful societies can vanish, leaving us to wonder why. Off the coast of Gujarat, in western India, lies the mystery of Dwarka, an ancient city linked to both archaeology and legend. In Hindu tradition, Dwarka was the sacred kingdom of Lord Krishna, a city said to be built of gold, with towering palaces and bustling harbors. According to the texts, it eventually sank beneath the sea, reclaimed by the ocean after Krishna's death. For centuries, it remained a tale of mythology. In recent decades, however, marine archaeologists have discovered submerged structures near modern-day Dwarka. Stone walls, foundations, and streets lying beneath the Arabian Sea suggest the presence of a settlement thousands of years old. Some findings have been dated as far back as 1500 BCE, while others may be even older. These underwater remains align curiously with descriptions from the Mahabharata and other ancient texts, sparking debate about whether myth and history are more closely connected than once believed. Yet many questions linger. Was this sunken site truly the Dwarka of legend, or an unrelated port city swallowed by shifting seas? Did rising waters and natural disasters erase an entire chapter of civilization, leaving only fragments behind?